So I've realized I've had a lot of resistance towards making content again, posting videos, whatever. And I've realized that hiding from doing this, avoiding it, suppressing the urge has probably played a bigger role in my gut and health issues than I've realized. Because I found that on those days where I sort of on those days where I basically I can't talk when someone's watching me. I don't know why. I get so self-conscious. I'm so aware of them. Breaks my flow. What was I saying? Yeah, like when I basically, I suppress the urge to make videos or really just step into my authentic self, and engage with my purpose, progress on this path that I, want to be on. I don't know exactly what exactly I want to do, All I know is I want to sort of spread this sort of energy, help people live a more loving, free, authentic life, be their best self. So some sort of life coach, awareness coach, mindfulness teacher, something like that, all of it. But I realized that what was I saying? Oh yeah, the days that I really engage with that, and I might even tell myself that I'm gonna start posting again, or I'm gonna post that day. I step into that authentic self again. Hold on. And then my whole energy shifts. My day is so much better, my quality of life. And I notice usually my sleep gets better. And I think this is just my current theory, is that maybe the hyper focus on my diet and trying all these diets and giving food and diet and nutrition so much attention, and getting to the point where I was kind of obsessing about it and hyper focusing on it, that sort of it was without me even really realizing it, is that I was subtly sort of getting off track. I was ignoring my authentic self, or suppressing it. I was stepping out of presence and stepping into my mind, my ego. And I think by doing that, my health suffered, because I had been sort of on this path. I had been doing it, and I was feeling pretty dang good. Not maybe not as good as I could be, but pretty, like, better than I feel day to day now, I would say. Probably, I don't know. But I have learned a lot on this health journey, and most of it is just like how my body responds to different things, but also just listening to a bunch of different health experts, and like there seems to be like sort of like some core principles that make sense and seem to be helping me. I won't go into that right now, but the point is, I think stepping away from my purpose and stepping away from my authentic self and living in presence and, sharing love, sharing wisdom, living the life that I want to live, embodying that energy, stepping away from that in favor of obsessing about health and doing a bunch of research and just being up in my head for way too long. I think it's like signaled to my body that I am not thriving, that I'm like in survival mode. I think that hyper focusing, that obsessing is kind of like things aren't good right now. He's struggling, and so I think my body adapted because of that. Because on those days where I really just I just let go of needing all of that to be perfect and figured out, and I just truly surrender, and I just engage with my purpose. I feel much better, and I know that I'm healing at a much higher rate than if I were to be focusing so much just on food and supplements alone. So that's that. But then I'm also realizing that, or I should say, I've been trying to figure out why I have so much resistance to stepping into my authentic self and engaging with my purpose and posting content, and just really trying to progress what I want to do with my life. I get a little shy when people are walking by me. But I think it just comes down to fear, obviously. But when I really look at it, I think I'm just afraid of the pressure and the expectations, potentially, of that I think I must set for myself, or that I project onto other people to have of me to make it as a life coach, And perhaps there's just some fear of losing that part of me, or that ability to just relax and not have any pressure or responsibility. And I'm just thinking now that it's kind of like the apathetic side of me I've really suffered with this in high school with a lot of stress going on. It's like I just like kind of gave up. I just stopped caring. I didn't want the pressure of like having to perform, of having to be something, be someone, be good at, be good at basketball or be a great student and do all my work. It's like I just gave up and I just didn't care. I think it was mostly because my needs weren't being met. I wasn't meeting my own needs, and neither was my parents. There was a lot of kind of stress and not a lot of love in my house at that time. There was a lot of just drama with my mom and my dad. My mom was going through a mental illness sort of episode. She's battled her whole life, or a lot of her life. But it was really a big thing then, and there's a lot of tension between her and my dad, and I don't remember the exact details. I just know I was always trying to like kind of escape it all, and watching the Shaytards, Shay Carl in high school was like one of my escapes, and playing with the neighbors was also another escape. It's like I just really craved the sweetness, the lightness. And I say sweetness because I'm reading this book that breaks down the connection between emotional trauma and the onset of illnesses. And one of the reasons for diabetes, I don't know, they don't really differentiate between type 1 and type 2, but basically your body's response to a need for sweetness is to elevate your blood sugar or something like that. I don't know, it makes sense if you read the book. I can't explain it the best right now, but anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there's just a lot of like tension and chaos, and it was just not very loving in my house. And it was just too stressful to have to perform or be something. It's like, not just because of the stress of the expectations, but I think it was more so because I wasn't even in a place to meet that. Like, I needed discipline, and hard work wasn't what I needed. I just needed love. And I know now that like self-love is the most important, I would say, because you are the only one who is in your body, You're the only one that can actually affect things internally. Yes, it's nice if other people can show you validation and love you and whatnot, but you're the only one living in your body. And so you gotta improve that relationship first, and not be so dependent on external things and people and validation. But as a kid, you're not always at that emotional ability to give that to yourself. It's So that's where having people in your life that can show that to you, just unconditional love, is great. But I also realized that I don't work well in an environment. This is kind of what I realized with basketball too. I don't work well in an environment with a lot of pressure and expectations. You know, I work a lot better in a more loving, kind of carefree, environment. That's how and I think that's why I'm also like, I'm not going to make content from a place of pressure, and discipline, because that's not the energy that I'm trying to spread, and that's not the energy that even inspires me. It's the loving, creative energy. And I realize when I'm really tapped into that, in touch with that, it comes so much more naturally to progress on this path, to post things, to, all of it. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just kind of exploring, like, why is there this resistance to posting, and how do I get out of that? How do I fight through that? Or how do I just overcome it? And I think the first thing is to realize that there is no pressure. There's no expectations. I mean, I create them. But like, even if someone else does, it's like, who cares, dude? All I know is that this is the life I want to live. This is the person I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is the sort of route I want to go. I love doing it. I feel inspired. I feel passionate talking about this stuff. And to be honest, it's not even important that it takes off or I can make a sustainable business out of it. I think that will come, honestly, just because I love engaging with it, but my quality of life is already way better just by engaging with it, just by making videos, just by thinking about this stuff, helping, like, answering or replying to people on social media or whatever that has to do with this. It just feels so satisfying and fulfilling to sort of like share, to really just be in that state of mind, to speak from awareness and to help other people that are struggling with that. And even I often will help myself with some of the things that I write or say. Like I get more clarity in the moment as I'm writing it or speaking it, and it frees me up too. So I think I just need to let go of the pressure and the expectations, let go of the need for it to even be perfect. Let go of the need for there to be no mistakes. Let go of the need for everyone to validate what I'm doing. Because it's like, life is short. And when I really ask myself what makes life worth living, or like, what kind of life do I want to live? If I'm gonna live a life, what do I want to do? And this is what I want to do. So I think I just need to focus on that. I need to focus on that core intention, which is just love, you know? Love for other people, love for myself, love for life, love for writing and writing about this stuff, speaking about this stuff, engaging with this stuff. I need to hammer it in that you don't need to be anything else than what you are, you know? Mistakes are part of the process, and they're beautiful because they are valuable. And it's okay to not always feel like on top of the world, and to feel super empowered and energetic and authentic, you know? But guess what? As soon as you're able to lean into that and allow yourself to be where you're at, you're right back there. You're right back in it. You just accept it all, you know? Like I was just saying earlier, like I got a little shy, a little embarrassed or whatever to speak when someone else was walking by me. But then I acknowledge it and I laugh about it. Like, you don't give it so much power, and you own up to how you're feeling, what's going on inside, you know? Don't let the dark side win, you know? Be above it as often as you can. So I think I just need to give up, let go of expectations, it needing to be perfect. Any pressure. Just focus on the joy of doing it, the love, the inspiration. Know that there's going to be mistakes, things that could have been said better, done better, but it doesn't make you less than. It just makes you human, right? No one can be perfect. And just as soon as you're able to, lean into it, lean into all of it, laugh at it, go with it, you know, roll with it. That's life. Keep moving forward. Don't get too hung up on it, and then just, all right, next thing, next play, be a goldfish.